we need to talk about the endangerment finding reversal because I'm seeing a lot of people who are outraged. They're afraid about this policy being reversed, but actually getting rid of this is common sense and good for everyday people. So let me explain. So the endangerment finding goes back to 2009 when the EPA declared CO2, which is a gas essential to life and what we literally exhale, when they declared it as a pollutant. So this decision unlocked sweeping authority to regulate carbon dioxide emissions across the entire economy. It led to more bureaucracy, red tape, regulations that have made everyday things for us more expensive, like cars, for example. So the reason why people found this endangerment ruling to be such overreach is because CO2 is not poisonous or a pollutant. It doesn't contaminate water. It's not like mercury or sulfur dioxide or lead or things that contribute to smog. So because of this endangerment finding, the government could now regulate CO2 like it regulates other pollutants under the Clean Air Act. And so the Clean Air Act, when it passed, was actually amazing. It was passed in 1964, and it was in response to real issues. We had a lot of smog, we had leaded gas, and basically the Clean Air Act eliminated leaded gas, and we saw lead levels in Americans' blood drop by more than 90%. We also got cars to emit a fraction of the pollution that they did in the 1970s. And we were able to get the 6 major pollutants that were really harming us down by 70% because of the Clean Air Act. So, we used to have smog that would blanket cities like Los Angeles, and the Clean Air Act actually stopped that. But the endangerment finding changed the Clean Air Act's mission from regulating real toxins to redefining a trace atmospheric gas, in this instance CO2, which is only 0.04% of our air, as a pollutant. And it allowed regulators to use these basically anti-smog laws to completely change monitor energy policies. And so when you start to regulate CO2 emissions, you are adding extra bureaucracy and steps to things like transportation, manufacturing, heating, electricity, and economic growth itself. And that hurts all of us. It makes life less affordable. It's harder to build when you have all these regulations. Also, the science that the endangerment finding was based on was so shoddy because we know CO2 has been higher in the past and life has thrived, right? Forests expanded, biodiversity flourished. So when we have higher CO2 levels, historically, that does not mean it's dangerous for life. And so instead of focusing on real pollutants that we can impact, this endangerment finding pivoted all of our mindset and infrastructure and resources to regulating CO2, which just makes everything more difficult when we could be focusing on other things that you can think of that actually hurt us. So I'm seeing the comments. People are saying, we're so cooked. This is for the billionaires. But in the end of the day, it's really not. It's a return to common sense. This is actually going to make things more affordable for us. It's going to make us more competitive with our international competitors like China and India that don't have things like this. And it's not going to lead to a return to smog or anything like that.